Have you ever found yourself just completely frozen by a decision? I mean, not because all the options are terrible, but because they feel so big.
Oh, definitely. The really tough ones.
Yeah, those huge choices, like um, a massive career shift, or maybe deciding about a relationship, whether to really commit or maybe to walk away.
High stakes.
Exactly. And in those moments, it's not just outside pressure, is it? It's this like internal panic, this
Yeah.
feeling that if you choose wrong, it's not just a mistake, it's catastrophic, like long-term disaster.
Right. And the flip side is this idea that the right choice holds the key to some kind of, exceptional happiness.
Yes, this amazing future. And that pressure is just, it's immense. It can totally paralyze you.
And that agony, that paralysis, that's exactly what we're diving into today. The thinking we've looked at suggests that, well, a lot of that suffering might actually be unnecessary.
Unnecessary. How so?
Well, the idea is we might be suffering unnecessarily because we fundamentally misunderstand what a hard choice really is.
Oh.
So our mission today is to unpack a different way of thinking about it, sort of a two-pronged approach, using both optimism and, interestingly, pessimism.
Optimism and pessimism.
Yeah, to find some real reassurance, to help you stop being quite so terrified by the options in front of you.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Let's start with this idea that the agony is an illusion. Because honestly, when you're facing two huge life paths, that fear of missing out, fear of regret, it feels incredibly real.
It absolutely does feel real. But the argument is that the power behind that pain, the thing driving it, is largely based on a false hope.
A false hope.
Yeah, this desperate search for one single solution. The one choice that's going to magically guarantee happiness and, just as importantly, let you dodge all future unhappiness.
Ah, okay. Like we're looking for the perfect cheat code for life.
Exactly. We approach these big decisions like we're scientists. If we just gather enough data, weigh the pros and cons perfectly, we can engineer the ideal outcome.
So that moment of decision, signing the paper, saying yes, moving out, we treat that single action as if it seals our fate completely. That sounds like you're putting way too much pressure on ourselves.
That's the core idea. It's called exaggerating our agency.
Exaggerating our agency. Okay.
We start believing that our conscious choice, right then and there,
Yeah.
is the only thing that determines how things turn out long term.
Right. Forgetting about, I don't know, luck, circumstance, just stuff happening.
Exactly. Forgetting the inherent nature of reality itself. We're hunting for this perfect path, but maybe imperfection is just baked into all the options equally.
Okay, that concept, exaggerating our agency, feels really important. So are you saying we basically take too much credit when things go well after a choice and too much blame when they go wrong?
In a way, yes. We forget that life keeps happening after the choice. You pick the perfect job, and then the company restructures.
Or the perfect house, and suddenly they decide to build a highway next door.
Precisely. The final outcome is this complex mix of your choice, yes, but also a million other factors way outside your control at that decision point.
Okay, so if searching for the perfect guaranteed outcome is, well, pointless.
A fool's errand.
Yeah, right. Then let's shift gears. What's the first strategic tool? You mentioned optimism.
Yes, the optimistic reframe. This is about looking at the hard choice through a positive lens. What if the reason it feels so difficult isn't because one option is secretly terrible, but because actually all options on the table have, in truth, something substantial to offer us?
So the difficulty comes from abundance, not scarcity.
That's the paradox. A really tough choice often means you're forced to pick between substantially decent alternatives. The anxiety isn't necessarily a warning sign of danger.
It's more like a sign that you have multiple good paths available.
Exactly. You're struggling because they're all pretty good.
That flips the script, doesn't it? It's almost a luxury problem. If one was clearly awful, the choice would be easy.
Right. So let's try this optimistic view. Think about relationships again. You're torn between staying with partner X or looking for someone new, partner Y.
Okay.
The optimistic view makes you admit, okay, if I stay with X, there's genuinely much to celebrate. Comfort, shared history, maybe stability.
Sure. Things you value.
But also, if you chose to leave and find partner Y, that new person would likely have many charms too. New experiences, different energy, excitement.
So it's not good versus bad. It's more like stability versus growth.
Okay.
Or comfort versus novelty. Both good things.
Exactly.
Okay.
Both fundamentally appealing in different ways. Or think about housing. Maybe choosing between two places.
Okay.
One is gorgeous, maybe architecturally stunning, full of light, but It's near noisy train tracks.
Yeah, that's a classic dilemma.
The other is super quiet, peaceful neighborhood, but the house itself is, well, less charming.
Yeah.
A bit plain.
Right, so the optimistic lens.
It highlights the positives of both. The first gives you beauty and light every day. The second gives you quiet and peace. Both are really very pleasant in different ways.
So you're guaranteed a win. It just depends on which kind of win you prefer. Beauty or tranquility.
Pretty much. And let's do career quickly. Weighing, say, a super prestigious new job, looks amazing on paper, promises a stellar future.
The shiny object.
Against staying put where you are now,
Yeah.
where you genuinely love your colleagues and have a really good quality of life, good work-life balance.
Another tough one.
Optimistically. Whichever you choose, you'll have much to be pleased about. One path offers prestige and maybe faster advancement.
And the other offers daily enjoyment, connection, less stress, maybe.
Exactly. The struggle comes because you have to trade one type of genuine good for another type of genuine good.
Okay, that actually feels quite liberating, thinking the agony is just proof of good options. But you said there were two tools.
Yes, we can't stop there.
Yeah.
For real psychological relief, you need the counterbalance.
Which is?
The pessimistic equalizer.
Pessimistic. How does that bring comfort?
Well, the thinking goes, it offers equal comfort. See, we get obsessed with this idea that if we just choose wisely, we can prevent a nightmare scenario.
Right. Avoid the disaster.
But this pessimistic step forces us to face a harder truth. There will be something pretty difficult about every route we take.
So you're saying problems are unavoidable no matter what?
Essentially, yes. We find it hard to choose, not just because all options are pretty good, but also because all options have their unavoidably disappointing dimensions.
Okay, so accepting the downside is key.
It's about realizing you can't actually legislate against reality. No amount of planning lets you escape the fact that every path, every person, every situation has flaws.
That feels humbling, maybe even humanizing, like you said.
It is. Let's run those examples again, but with this pessimistic lens. Relationships. Partner X can certainly be annoying, right? They have habits that drive you nuts.
Definitely. Everyone does.
Well, guess what? If you leave for partner Y, eventually you'll find that so will Y partner. The annoyances will just be different.
True. There's no dodging the inherent difficulty of everyone.
Exactly. Whoever you end up with is a complex human, guaranteed to have their dispiriting sides. You're basically choosing which set of difficulties you're more willing to handle.
Okay, that perspective shifts things. What about the houses?
That beautiful house near the tracks.
Yeah.
And the noise might drive you crazy sometimes. But the quiet, less charming house, it can't shield you from life's other struggles.
Meaning?
Meaning, no house, however perfect, can ever make life perfect. You'll still have worries, stress, bad days. A certain amount of unhappiness is courtable. It follows you wherever you happen to sleep.
Oof, that's blunt. No house spares us certain fundamental agonies of existence.
Pretty much. It puts a house choice in perspective, doesn't it?
It does. But wait, if we accept that everything is going to be somewhat awful, that problems are guaranteed everywhere, doesn't that risk making us, I don't know, apathetic? Like, why even bother choosing carefully?
That's a really important question. And the distinction is between realism and apathy, or nihilism. This isn't saying give up, nothing matters.
Okay.
It's saying stop expecting one choice to be an escape from all difficulty.
Yeah.
Knowing problems are baked in actually lowers the pressure. You're not choosing for perfection anymore.
You're choosing which problems you'd rather deal with.
Exactly. Which set of challenges feels more worthwhile to you? It shifts the goal from running away from trouble to choosing meaningful trouble.
Choosing meaningful trouble. I like that. Okay, so career. You hate the frustrations in your current job, hoping the shiny new one will be totally different.
But the pessimistic view reminds you that the dissatisfactions you know now will have equivalents whatever job we pick.
New job, new problems.
Right. Different boss, different kind of annoying colleague, different bureaucratic hoops to jump through. The flavor of the awfulness changes, but the presence of some awfulness remains.
So the big takeaway from the pessimistic side is everything is certain to be a bit awful, and we torture ourselves trying to deny that, trying to find the one right choice that somehow magically avoids all the bad stuff.
That's the vanity. We're vainly striving to deny this basic truth in our search for the flawless option.
Okay, so how do these two things, the optimistic, everything's pretty good, and the pessimistic, everything's a bit awful, actually bring relief?
The real release happens when you hold both ideas in your mind at the same time.
Duality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once you truly accept that any major choice you're agonizing over is likely to be both pretty fine and simultaneously stubbornly somewhat awful too?
Well, the intense emotional pressure starts to dissolve.
Because you stop chasing the myth of the perfect, painless path.
Exactly. You stop swinging wildly between hope, this will fix everything, and dread, this will ruin everything.
And the payoff is, you just feel calmer, less frantic.
You cease to grow either quite so exercised or so terrified. You accept that this mix of good and bad is just the way things are.
The normal state of affairs. Right. You internalize that we are never far from pain, and we are never far from joy. That condition exists down every potential path.
Which implies maybe the obsessive weighing of tiny pros and cons isn't always the best use of energy?
Often it isn't. When options are truly closely matched, both in their potential joys and their inevitable drawbacks, maybe the precise choice matters less than we think.
So the freedom comes in realizing we can rest more easily with the decision.
Yes. And maybe sometimes when things are really balanced, you can almost let roll the dice, decide the rest.
Wow, that feels radical. Just flip a coin.
Maybe not literally always, but realizing the outcomes might be more similar than different petitions frees you up to focus your energy not just on the choosing, but on the living afterwards.
So the wisdom isn't in finding the mythical perfect path?
Because it doesn't exist. The real wisdom is accepting that mix, that duality of pleasure and pain, no matter which path you take.
That really lands. Hard choices are hard because the options are genuinely decent. And relief comes when you also accept they're all genuinely flawed too.
You got it.
Okay, so here's a final thought for you, the listener, to mull over next time you face one of these big, agonizing choices. If we accept that both joy and pain are pretty much guaranteed companions down any road, does our real power, our real agency, shift? Maybe it's less about choosing the perfect route and more about choosing how we respond to those inevitable, somewhat awful parts that will show up on whatever path we choose. Maybe think about which response you want to cultivate.